I still remember the way they looked at me, that mixture of disbelief and contempt when I announced I was going to become a painter. My family, hardened by generations of stability and practicality, scoffed at my dream. "That's a joke," my father said, voice cold with disdain. "You're wasting your life on something so pointless. Artists don't make money. They're fools." My mother shook her head like I'd just insulted the family name, muttering about shame and embarrassment. They told me I was delusional, that I should get real, but deep inside, I knew this was my truth. I couldn't breathe without chasing color, without turning my visions into reality. I poured everything into my art, day and night, fighting against doubt, against their relentless mockery. The road was impossible. I struggled to survive, living paycheck to paycheck, starving for recognition. Every rejection, every scornful comment from family was a dagger, but I kept going. I'd stare at my blank canvas and whisper, "I'll prove you wrong. Watch me." Years passed. I left my small town behind, moved to the city, and threw myself into every gallery, every project, every opportunity I could grasp. There were nights I wanted to give up, to crawl back home defeated, but I refused. I kept working, kept fighting, and eventually the world started to notice. My paintings, they sold. My ideas for games, people loved them. My name, it grew. The ridiculous dream that had once been mocked as foolish had become tangible, real, mine. Then it happened. A call from a major gallery, an exhibition set with my name on it. Critics praised my work as visionary. I had made it. I was no longer the laughingstock, but someone who dared to defy the odds. I had finally proved my worth. I decided it was time to return home, not just with my success, but with a message. I wanted my family to see what their doubts had almost killed. I drove back into town, heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and rage. The house looked the same, but I wasn't the same. I stepped inside, greeted by awkward silences and thinly veiled curiosity. My father's eyes widened as he looked at me, then quickly looked away. My mother's face softened, but her hands trembled. I could see the shame lurking beneath her gaze. I felt nothing but a quiet fury. How many nights I'd cried alone, feeling like I'd betrayed them by chasing my impossible dream. Then I decided to show them. I led them to the gallery opening on the city's busiest street, an exhibit of my work, a testament to years of blood and sweat. The walls shimmered with my paintings, bold and raw. My game designs played on a large screen, cutting edge and innovative. The crowd surged around me, praising, admiring. I watched their faces shift, the skepticism melting into awe. Finally, I turned to face my family. They stood at the back, uncertain. My father's jaw tightened, and my mother's eyes glistened. I stepped forward, voice steady and strong. "This is what I fought for," I said. "Your doubts, your insults, they almost made me forget who I was. But I proved that a ridiculous dream isn't foolish if you're willing to fight for it. I did this not just for myself, but to show anyone out there that the world's judgments don't define you. Only your belief does." The silence stretched long. My father looked like he'd swallowed his pride, and my mother's face crumpled with emotion. For a moment, it felt like the whole universe was holding its breath. Then my father finally spoke, voice hoarse. "I was wrong. I never understood what you were fighting for. But I do now." He took a step forward, hesitated, then placed a hand on my shoulder. "You've made something of yourself, something I never could have imagined. I'm proud, in my way." The tears stung my eyes, not from sadness, but from a fierce, satisfying victory. I had been mocked, dismissed, belittled. I had felt the sting of shame, but I'd forged my path, broken their expectations, and carved out a legacy that no doubt would outlast their doubts. That night, as I left the gallery, I looked back at the house, the place that once tried to silence my dreams. But I knew I had won something far greater. Their doubts no longer mattered. The world had seen what I could do, and I was finally free. Free from their judgments, free from fear, and finally, truly myself. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't anger or bitterness. It's silence, standing tall, proving everyone wrong, and returning home with your head held high.